Hi guys, it's Claire, welcome back to my channel. Doing something completely different today. We're going to have a little play and experiment with Yupo paper and alcohol inks. I've barely done this. I have done it before. We actually, when we went on one of our Get Crafty America craft retreats, we visited Whimso-Doodle, one of the craft shops over in St. Petersburg. And we done a workshop where we made these backgrounds. We made some other bits as well, but I was impressed with these backgrounds, so I've kept my pieces that I made. And this is my only experience of playing with Yupo paper and alcohol inks. Now these obviously are all full-on backgrounds and lots of texture on them. If I bring it up close to the screen, you can see all the different colours and textures. I don't like this green one quite as much, but this one I like a lot. It's very, very nice. But yeah, they're full-on backgrounds. But I've been seeing lately online people leaving a lot more white space on their cardstock and just doing a sort of patting in the middle, almost a bit watercolour-y looking rather than a full background. So I'm going to give that a try. So I've got Yupo paper, the Tim Holtz one. And I've got Yupo paper, which is just this brand SAA, which I'll be honest with you, I just got off of eBay. So this is eBay Yupo paper. It's a lot thinner. This is thicker like a card. But we'll give both a try and see how we get on with both of them. I have got not the biggest selection of alcohol inks. These are the colours I've got here. There's not actually that many, but again, we'll just play with what we've got and see how we get on. I've got the Ranger alcohol blending solution, that to try. And I've also got isopropyl alcohol. This is a huge big pot of it that I've got, 5 litre bottle that I've got, which I've decanted a small amount into just a small bottle here to work with today. I've got little pipettes at the ready. We didn't use pipettes when we done these ones. We were using the blending sponges and sort of dabbing the colour on, but I wanted to do more dropping today and see how that goes, sort of drips and dropping it and drying it in between layers. I'm also bringing in to try, I don't know how this will work, this could be a complete fail. We've got some perfect pearls, so I thought that while this is still wet we could drip some perfect pearls in there or flick some perfect pearls in and see how that worked, if it works. The same with these two inks. These are just Winsor & Newton inks. We've got a silver and a gold ink. I thought we could throw some of that in there, see how that works. And I've got gold foil. I know that some people do this with gold foil, that as it's still slightly wet, you put the gold foil down, rub it on, and apparently it leaves some nice streaks of gold foil. Again, I've not tried, so I don't know how it's going to work. Let's play. I will start on the Tim Holtz Yupo paper. That's what we worked with in Whimso-Doodle. This is actually where I bought this packet from. It was $10 for 10 pieces of paper, so it's not the cheapest paper. But let's give this a whirl. So there's a right and wrong side to this, I believe. Let's have a look. Yeah, this side feels slightly more shiny, although that doesn't feel dissimilar. I feel like that's the right way up. So I think we will literally just crack on, get straight in. Now I am going to, I think, do I want to put some of this isopropyl down first? Or should I just go straight in with a colour? Let's go in with a colour. Alright, so I'm using this colour, which is pistachio. We'll do just a few drops. Now I know from before you don't have to use a lot of different colours. Once you start adding this and drying in between, it starts to pull out different colours. So let's see if that is still the case. As I say, it's been a while since I done this and that was my only experience of it. So let's see what happens. Definitely not pulling out many other colours. We're only getting green, slight bit of yellow there, but not much else. Put a bit more intense green on there. it's hard to be controlled, and I have to say I'm warping my paper definitely. I'm liking all the lines and the shapes and things we've got, but this is definitely warping. My heat gun doesn't have variable speed, so this is just, it's hot, so I can't turn it down. I think perhaps if you had one that you could cool, it might be a bit better. But I am liking all the greens and the yellows that I'm starting to see. I'm going to bring in another colour. We'll do blue. This is sailboat blue, because I'm not seeing many different colours come from that green. So let's mix colours. Let's give it a whirl. So I think blast it a bit. Then add a bit of the alcohol. Don't know, are we liking this? Is this good? You tell me. It's going all too liney. It's not what I want. I don't like these long lines, and maybe that's because I'm putting too much alcohol on there and I'm watering it down and making it too thin. But we'll stick with it for a bit. I'll try going in with some more concentrated colour and not so much of the isopropyl. Put some more green in there so they're both wet. Let's give this a whirl. I think I'm definitely going to lose my white space. Okay, maybe it's getting okay. As I'm building up the layers, apart from my warping, I'm actually quite liking all the layers of colour that I'm getting there. But as I say, I was trying to keep a lot more white space on there, but it very quickly spreads out. Let's try putting some more blue on and then throwing in some of the Perfect Pearls and seeing how that works. Uh-oh, I can never keep my table tidy. Uh-oh, now we've got another stain. Never mind. Okay, so back to Perfect Pearls. I guess I should have some sort of little tool for this, but no, I'll just use a dry pipette. Just the tip of that, just to get some of that on there. I don't know, this might work, it might not, but let's try. I feel like we need to get a little bit more, something wet on there. And again with the isopropyl, give it something to sort of cling to. Oh, that's better, I think. That's turning that powder into a liquid, so it's now looking metallic-y and starting to run like a metallic. Not loving that Perfect Pearls. It did go a bit liquidy and it did start to move around in it, but you've still got clumps of powder in there that I don't really like. This one here, you can brush it off still just like normal powder. So not loving that. I think I'm going to give up on this piece and we'll try another piece. So again, using the Tim Holtz alcohol, the Tim Holtz Yupo. We'll stick with that for a minute. Let's try doing, will we stick with the same colours? No, let's go with some different colours. So I've got, we'll go flamingo and pink sherbet. Let's see how this works. Would be a bit more heavy, but I won't put the isopropyl alcohol on just yet. Oh, let's move this down here. I like the way that's bleeding out better already. You definitely got some greys in there, so there's a definite variation of colours. So this is the flamingo. This would look nice. If we could get gold running through this somehow, I think it's going to look good. Definitely got to be careful with that heat gun. I think it's too hot for this paper. It is okay if I hold it a long way away and go very gently, it's better. Right, so let's try some of the Winsor & Newton ink. I've got just an old paintbrush to try and pick some of this up. I mean, I don't know if this, maybe I'm being silly here, maybe this won't ever work. We have to dab bits on. Maybe these just won't work nicely together, I don't know, but you don't know until you try. I would have thought that they would try and resist each other, but I'll say you don't know unless you try, so let's give it a whirl. We'll put some more of the lighter pink on. Do they resist, or are they going to play nicely together? Okay. Seem quite interesting. The gold is definitely moving, but are we going to lose the metallicness from it? Let's see. They're just staying as quite solid blobs. Let's add some alcohol. Is it going to do anything? Don't think it is. I feel like they're just sitting there and they're not going to actually run around and move that much. Okay, so that's not working that well. What if we do go in with a sponge? So let's pull in one of the tools and we use a felt on the end. What if we sort of squish it in? Is that going to do anything? We could just be making a complete mess. Well, that's flattened out the lumps. Let's see if by putting some more colour on there we can get that to look a bit better. That looks better. Thinner areas of the gold are better. Okay, that's definitely looking better, but not what I had in mind. I'm not loving it, I'll be honest with you, but that's what experimenting is all about. Why this is still, I think this is still tacky. Let's try this. Let's give this a go. I'm sure there's lots of you shouting at me now saying I'm doing it completely wrong, but you don't learn. Actually, no, that does work. It has picked up on some of the wet areas. That's better. The foil is just sitting nicer. So the Winsor & Newton ink and the Perfect Pearls, I would say, don't work. But as I say, you don't know until you try, so it's good to give it a whirl. I mean, it's not horrendous, but I don't really like those big round blobs. I wanted it to move more. Okay, let's give it another go. Let's switch over to the other Yupo paper now. So I've got some pieces here that I've cut down. Oh. Is there a right and wrong side? No, this appears to be the same. Where shall we start? Where shall we start? Let's go with coral. Let's try coral. I think maybe I'm holding off on the alcohol ink a bit much. I think I'm being a bit stingy with it. Maybe we do need to just be a bit braver with our colour. And get it moving a lot more. In with their tool. Wow, maybe that's better. Maybe. Have some more pink sherbet. Let's go a bit heavier. Let's not be so scared. Looking better already, isn't it? And maybe not over drying it is key as well. Oh, I like that. I like all those little bits you've got coming up. I wonder if this is technique that's better or if it's the paper that's working better. I wonder. I'm liking that a lot more though. What other colours? We've got crimson. Let's throw some of this in here. I think maybe the little shakes where you get tiny little dots of it down are nicer than the big drips. I quite like all these little ones. So before we dry that, let's just mix another colour in. This is starting to look very marbly and nice. I like it. That's a lot better, don't you think? It's starting to look really nice. Okay, I like it. Shall we go in with the gold? Let's get a new bit of gold foil. A couple of bits here. Oh, nice. Hard to pick up. Oh, that's lovely. Wow, I really like that. I really like that a lot. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm trying to catch the light for you. Isn't that pretty? See, that I like. That's the sort of result I was trying to get rather than these two, our first two attempts. Don't like that one. The powder didn't work at all. Perfect Pearls powder didn't work at all. And too liney. I think I was adding too much of the isopropyl alcohol. This one was with the Winsor & Newton gold ink and that just didn't blend. Even though I squidged it down a bit, it still didn't work. So we've tried it, but that's a fail. But this is nice. Not perfect. I'm not a fan of like that little bit there or these edges, but obviously you can always cut that off. But I really like that a lot. Okay, let's try another bit. So we'll do exactly the same technique, but now back to using the Tim Holtz paper, because remember that was the other one, that was the eBay one. So this is the Tim Holtz one again. This is so much thicker. So let's try and do similar sort of colours. I think that controlling it is actually the hard bit. To try and keep white space, you've got to be very controlled. And we split this down a bit, didn't we, at the beginning? Oh, see, I feel already that this one's a bit heavy, but let's stick with it. Okay, coral. See, some colours are just a lot nicer than others, aren't they? They just play nicer together. And we've got some crimson. This crimson, I think I like this a lot. It seems to really bring it alive when you do that. Then what was their other colour? Flamingo. Getting a bit heavy. I like all these sort of little cells or little areas that start to spread. I like that a lot. And should we go back in with some of the pink sherbet? Not so keen on these edges around here. Maybe we need to, I'll get some of that crimson that I like, break up that grey pink. I think that pink sherbet colour's got a bit of a grey undertone, which I'm not loving. It's looking better, isn't it? We're getting there. Okay, should we try some foil? I like it. Oh, I think that wasn't quite dry enough. I think there's quite a fine balance between it being too dry or too wet. Obviously just is very, yeah, because I've splodged the colour here now, which I don't like, but I've held more gold in the middle, which I do like. So it is very much just, you've just got to play. Let's try and cover up some of these bits that I'm not a fan of. Oh, definitely getting that we're going to end up losing all our white space, but so be it. I'm liking it a lot more. Let's go back in with a bit of gold again. Let's see if this is dry enough. Yeah, that's nice. I feel like this just needs breaking up a bit, but I don't really know how. Some little drops of the pink, maybe with that grey. Oops, that was a bit heavy, but let's see. What if we dab? Let's just play. Oh, see, that breaks it up even more. Do we like that? Thoughts? Broken it up better, so I think I like it. But it could do with some gold on. Bit of the alcohol onto here. Let's not go directly onto the Yupo. Let's put it onto our sponge. Yeah, that's better. Nice. I like it. Back in with some more gold. Oh, nice. I like that a lot. What do you think? What do you think? It looks good. I like that. Really nice. Don't like these splotches I've got here, but I like the rest of it. That gold is lovely. Let me try and get the light for you. That's nice, isn't it? I like that. And that was the Tim Holtz paper, so there wasn't much. Let's have a look. This was the eBay paper on the right hand side. This was the Tim Holtz Yupo. This has actually held the colours, isn't it? They're a bit more vibrant on there. Again, whether that's because I put more ink on, I don't know. But I would say just looking at the two together, this one's more vibrant. And the paper, as I said, is a lot thicker. But both nice. That is the kind of technique I was trying to get. I definitely love that gold foil. I like that a lot. Got to try and be more controlled. I don't like it where I'm making too much mess around the edge, but I guess that's just practice. But I love that. The gold and the reds and pinks look really, really nice. Let's give it another go with the blues and greens. Now we've got a little bit more practice. So we've got the eBay Yupo paper again. So it is definitely seeming that you don't need isopropanol that much at all, do you? A little bit on the tool, but not that much. Right, let's try and go. Oh, seems a bit heavy. I feel scared. As soon as you put that on, you feel scared straight away. Without any alcohol, it doesn't move at all, so you definitely need it. Let's change this sponge from red. Pop a new one on there. get this moving. Okay. Maybe I don't need to be, I don't know. I do not know. So first bit of colour. Get some green. A bit generous with it. Should we get it moving again? What other colour have I got that I could put in? Let's have a look. I haven't, only got 2 blues and greens. I'm just going to pop over to my Copic refills because I know that you can use those in the same way. Okay. So let's give this a go. I have got Copic refills in BG13 and BG01, so mint green and mint blue. Let's see, I mean it's alcohol ink. I've never mixed the two, but there shouldn't really be any difference, should there? It's all alcohol ink. Nice colour. Okay. Let's dry that off, then we'll come in with the lighter one. Now with some B01. Try and fill in some of these gaps with the lighter colour. Dab it with a bit of alcohol again. Before that's completely dry, I'm going to come in with more green. Oh, come on. Are you liking it? I don't think I like this white space there. Let's get a little bit of light colour in there. Definitely have to move away with the heat tool. If you notice, then I had it too close and straight away it starts to bubble up the paper. If I move back a tiny bit, it works a lot better. I'm going to come in with some foil, but I'm going to grab some silver foil. So I've got some silver. The foil I'm using is the Wow Fab Foil. We actually sell this in the shops if you want to give this a little go. We do have these foils in our shop. I'll link them down below. Oh, nice. Oh, look, I've just... See, I'm definitely a bit messy for this, aren't I? Lovely. And that's lovely. I really, really like that. Apart from my fingerprints and smudges that I've got around here, if you ignore that bit, that's beautiful, isn't it? Really, really like that a lot. Maybe keeping the white space, as much as I like that look of it just being across the page, it's really difficult to keep that clean. But obviously, again, that can be trimmed down and it's still perfectly usable, and my hands are getting grubby, which isn't helping. But look at that silver foil on there. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? Really like that. Okay, so we'll do one more of the greens and blues with silver foil, but this time we're on the Tim Holtz card or Yupo paper. I don't know if he calls it paper or cardstock. Oh, he does call it cardstock. So Yupo cardstock, where my other one is just Yupo paper, to be fair. Alright, so let's try. We haven't tried the actual alcohol blending solution. Let's see if that's any different to the isopropyl alcohol that I'm putting on. And I'm going to put some of this on first, just to wet the cardstock a little bit. Let's see what that does. Okay, it's definitely moving a lot quicker. I quite like it. It's a lot softer around the edges. Can you see? That's like really soft and watercolory looking. Nice. Oh, see, there you go. There's me with my mess again. So we bring it across from corner to corner. These ones don't come out, don't shake out so easily, the Copic ones. In with some of the darker and get this moving a bit with the sponge or the felt. I quite like the way this breaks it up and makes it all look like little separate cells. I quite like that. Oops. And in with the BG13. More of this on. I like this colour, goes nicely with the silver foil. It's looking a bit too big, too many big blobs in there, so let's try and break them up a little bit. That's better, isn't it? Apart from this one here that wants to be one big blob. A bit more blue in there, a few little drops if we can. That's looking better. Maybe it's just being braver and putting more layers on. I want a bit more of the dark again. I'm quite liking this one to be much more navy rather than green. Come on, come out the bottle. A little blast, but then break it a bit. Oops. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think it's definitely a case of the more you play, the better you'll get. Don't like this one blob on its own. Let's try and do something about that. There you go, have a bit of colour. Blend a little. That's better. That's a lot better. Definitely, the more we're doing this, the more I'm liking it. I like that a lot. I'm tempted to do gold foil on that one and not silver. Should we give it a whirl? Let's give it a whirl. Try not to get any messy finger marks on it this time. So I'm going to go in with a bigger piece of foil. Just grab my scissors and cut some off. So I can just lay it down once, press down and then lift up. Let's give Give it a go. Oh, see, that's better. That's perfect. I love it. Absolutely. I still got a red mark on there. How do I do it every time? So grubby. That's stunning, isn't it? Isn't that absolutely beautiful? That's exactly what I was thinking, that lots of white space around the edge, a nice vivid colour in the middle, and then yeah, gold flecks in there. I'm glad we tried the Perfect Pearls and the Winsor & Newton inks, but definitely this foil is the way to go, isn't it? The fab foil. Absolutely stunning. I love that. Oh, really gorgeous. Okay, so let's have a little look at what we've made. We have made 2 with the blues and greens, and we did pull in the Copic refills, remember, on these, just to give us some lighter colours, which worked exactly the same, which is good to know. I thought it would, but that was good to try. And then we've got 2 in the pinks and reds. These were all just the traditional Tim Holtz alcohol inks. And there, those 2 with gold foil. So foil is definitely key. You don't need so much of the, it made no difference, did it, between blending solution and isopropyl alcohol? There wasn't really any difference at all. Yupo paper compared to eBay paper. I think the colours are definitely a bit more vivid on these bottom 2, but I don't just dislike those ones, so there's not really a major issue. I think for the price difference, I think this was about half the price of the Tim Holtz one. I would say that's perfectly fine, that's perfectly okay. But this is thicker. If you specifically want it to be thicker, then obviously you're going to need to buy the Tim Holtz one. But yeah, aren't they lovely? I love them. Right, hope you enjoyed that little experiment with me. Thanks for watching. Give it a go. If you do give it a go, head over to our Facebook group and share it so I can see what you make and how yours come out. Or if you've got any other tips of what we can do to do things differently, then please do share them with me. I'm loving this. It's nice to try something a bit different. Thanks for watching. Bye.